It's time for another daily drop here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. I am THI publisher Andrew Jones, and the topic today, Carolina basketball. In fact, I just got home from New York, covering the Tar Heels in Connecticut up at Madison Square Garden. Came right into my office. Boom. Let's get a couple of daily drops hammered out, and that's what I'm doing here. We got Carolina basketball today, and then Friday's daily drop will also be Carolina basketball. And a quick reminder, this is the holiday season where people are giving gifts. You can give a gift subscription to Tar Heel Illustrated to anybody. You could give one to yourself if you want. For a one-year subscription, it's just $8.33 a month, $8.33 a month. I was just on the road. Trust me, nothing is $8.33 anymore, especially when you're in New York. You can't get a pack of gum basically for $8.33. We're $8.33 a month. Amazing message boards. The conversations on our message boards about Carolina basketball, especially after the game last night, unbelievable. Well, I'll say Tuesday night because you're going to watch this on Thursday. Fantastic conversations. But you also get access to all of our recruiting coverage of both sports, portal stuff, tons of portal news going on right now, an unbelievable amount of perspective, and so much information and intel that we don't put on these podcasts, guys. They're only on the premium stuff on our site. All right, Carolina basketball, 3 stars, 9 games in. Tar Heels on a break. They don't play again until they face Kentucky December 16th in Atlanta. Of course, I will be there. So I thought this would be a really good time to kind of hit the brakes a little bit, step back, do a full gauge of where the team is. Nearly a third through the season and like 29% through the regular season already. And I thought it'd be fun to do our 3 stars through the first 9 games. And we're going to count down from 3 to 2 to 1. So the third star is Armando Bacot. Now, originally, the way the season started, looked like he was going to be the first star. But Armando, I'm going to break some stuff down, numbers with him on our site, and it'll be premium content next week. Next week, we'll have several days where there's nothing going on from a coverage standpoint, covering either team, football or basketball. So I'll have some time to sort of pin my ears back and dig into some of Armando's numbers. But Armando was third. He's still having a good year at 15.9 points a game, 11.9 rebounds. He's at 51% from the field. I think you want to see that go higher than that. He was at 61 or something like that his sophomore year. So he needs to pick that up, needs to finish better around the rim. 78.6% from the free throw line. He was 84% going in the UConn game. 5 of 10 from the floor against the Huskies. From the free throw line, made his first 3. And then he went 2 for 7 the rest of the way. He told us in the locker room after the game Tuesday night that he felt something pop at his knee. And this was the 4th free throw. So he had 2 free throws he made earlier. Then he was at the line to shoot 2, made the first one, and then felt something pop at his knee, missed the second free throw. And honestly, if you go back and watch the game, he was a different athlete from that point on. He wasn't as springy or as bouncy. And he's not super springy or bouncy anyway, but he was highly engaged and he showed some of his higher end athleticism in the early part of that game. Didn't have it as much afterward, but he did say that with the long break they have right now, no issues. He'll be ready to roll when they play Kentucky. I think what would be important for Armando, and he has addressed this a couple of times, that he's struggling a little bit getting used to playing with Harrison Ingram. Harrison Ingram's a guy that can use a lot. He uses a lot of the floor to do what he does. And a lot of the times he'll come from the wing into the lane. And I think Armando is just still getting used to that style, to his way. Sometimes there's a dump down. Maybe he gets the dump down, not in his well positioned to go up immediately and score, as he will perhaps in 6 weeks from now. The other thing is teams are starting to double a little bit more on him than they were early. Remember last year they started doubling in January, and his numbers changed. He never went for over 20 points after the home game against NC State, which was the night he broke Tyler Hansbrough's all-time rebound mark at Carolina. He's getting doubled more and more. And part of that's because they need other guys to step up and score. This team has become a little too heavy on 3 guys scoring. They need consistency from Cormac Ryan. They need Elliot Cadeau to be able to give them some stuff. When Seth Trimble comes in, he's done a pretty good job, quite frankly. He should play more. We're going to address a little bit of that later on in this drop. But for Armando, he needs to have a lot more guys around him doing stuff. One of the things we talked about with this year's team was you got to guard all five. Lately, there have been stretches where teams haven't been doing that. And he's the first person affected because they're not going to go double RJ on the perimeter. They're going to double Armando down low. The other thing is he's got to play through contact better. The other night, 2 nights ago against UConn, there were times he didn't play through contact well. A couple of those jump hooks that he badly missed in the first half, I think there was a little body action going on, and he's got to go straight out and play through that better. He can. I think maybe if the knee's feeling better, maybe he's more explosive on those plays and perhaps has a better chance of converting their shots. But look, he's still rolling off double-doubles. He had 5 assists in the Connecticut game. His floor game has improved tremendously. There are times where he's much better defensively. And sometimes he's put in positions where he's going to have some issues defensively because of the switching, which is something I'm going to get into in Friday's drop as well. Harrison Ingram is number 2, 15.1 points a game, 6.4 rebounds, 2.6 assists. He's shooting 48.5% from the floor, including 46.3% from three-point range. He's 19-41. And talk about catch and shoot. I've said this 1,000 times on these drops and written about it and gone on the boards and everything else, but he basically guaranteed back in October, he missed a ton of threes at Stanford because they were dribble and shoot threes. A lot of them were stressed, a lot of them were late in shot clocks. Now he's getting catch and shoot threes. He said his percentage will go way up. It has done that so far. It's got a beautiful release. It's got a fairly quick release. And the threat of driving, his ability to drive, maybe not always get to the rim, but he gets into the teeth of the lane. He's got a little one-handed floater that he's able to score. He's got a nice little pull-up jump shot in the lane. So defenders can't just sell out and go stop the three. They've got to worry about the variances in his game. And because of that, he's making the rest of the perimeter better. There are a lot more open looks this group is getting this year because of what Harrison Ingram brings to the floor. He's having a really good year. I think he's been at 20 points 4 times already. I think he may have been at 24 times last year at Stanford, maybe only 3 times. I will double check those numbers, and they will be on a Harrison Ingram piece that I'm writing for next week as well. But you got to love the fire. You got to love the intensity. You got to love the passion. You got to love the fact that this guy is having the time of his life wearing that Carolina uniform. Spurned it the first time, not the second time. And he's making the most of being on this platform, playing for this blue blood, and also sort of ingratiating himself from a cohesive standpoint on the court with everybody else. There's still an issue for Armando, like I noted. I think Armando's still getting used to him being out there, but it doesn't appear to be much of an issue for Ingram. So he's our number 2 star 9 games into the season. Number 1, now, no drum roll needed. You guys know where I'm going with this. RJ Davis has been off the charts. In the last 5 games, he scored at least 23 points. In the last 4 games, he scored at least 26 points. First Tar Heel to do that in a very, very long time. We got a bunch of numbers that we rolled out, and we're rolling out in an RJ piece coming up. So that's probably going to be Monday. We're going to run that article. That will actually be a free article, will not be a premium article. So you can see all those numbers, all the digging and all the comparisons of the stuff that he's doing right now. That will all be in that piece. But in the last 5 games, he's averaging 26.6 points a game. He had 26 against Connecticut. He had 27 against FSU, 27 against Tennessee. And what's pretty wild is that he was 8 for 17 from the field in each of the 3 games. He's shooting a lot, but it doesn't often seem like he's shooting a lot. There's a far more economical version of his game that we're seeing this year. Part of that's because he's off the ball more and more. Now that Elliot Cadeau is in the starting lineup, now that Elliot Cadeau is playing 30-plus minutes, RJ's off the ball. And he told me Saturday after the FSU game, One of the reasons he's getting much better shots this year is because he could focus on that. He can focus on finding his spot, coming off screens, getting in sync with Elliott. And then, of course, Elliott's got eyes in the back of his head. He's going to find him. So many of RJ's made threes this year are catch and shoot threes, but he's also pretty good off the dribble. He's got a nice little pull-up three-pointer. He's got a nice little catch it on the top of the key, take a dribble, get himself situated and knock the thing down. He did that a couple times in the second half during a nice stretch against UConn. In fact, he had 19 points in the second half of that game. So he's averaging 21 so far. He's at 2.6 assists, 3.2 rebounds. He's shooting 44% from the floor, 36.5% from three, which is acceptable. I think you'd like to see that number go up a little bit more, and perhaps it will. But I still think, given the fact that he's going to be a high volume shooter, if a team shoots 36.5%, they would be fairly pleased with that. So if RJ doesn't go below 36.5% on the season, I think they'll take that, especially if they get some of the other guys shooting the ball well. Harrison continuing to do what he's doing. Cormac Ryan's got to knock some more down. Jalen Withers has got to get into some kind of flow. One of the things he did at Louisville was knock down three. So if other guys are doing what they're supposed to do, RJ's 36.5 will be A-okay. That'll be great. That'll be exactly what they need from him. He's also 41 for 43 from the free throw line, 95.3%. So there you go. Armando 3, Harrison Ingram 2, RJ Davis 1. I'd love to know what you guys think. Is that your order? Would you mix up the order? Am I missing somebody? Would you insert somebody else as one of your 3 stars? Let us know. Let us know on Twitter. Let us know on Facebook, which is Tar Heel Illustrated. Go over to our site, tarheelillustrated.com. Let us know there as well. Please go ahead and like this video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so you get updates every time we upload a video, which is very often. Make sure you share this video. Tell your Carolina friends we're out here. We got a ton of stuff going on. We go where the Tar Heels go. And don't forget, guys, it's holiday season. Buy a Tar Heel fanatic loved one a subscription to tarheelillustrated.com. It's just $8.33 a month. You won't regret it. There's a ton of stuff there that you never see in the free content, you never see in these podcasts, and you never see in other forms of non-real media. There's a lot of non-real media out there, and they're not going to have the stuff that we have. There's a few outlets that are fantastic that are always there doing what they have to do, covering Carolina football, basketball, and recruiting. I'm AJ, and I'll see you tomorrow.